My name is Patricia McHugh and I have come through the rankings here at NUI Galway in that I've had my journey. I studied here first with the BCom and then I moved into the Masters in Marketing, or the MBS in Marketing as it was known to us at the time, and I've since progressed and undertaken a PhD, and I'm now working as a postdoctoral fellow and lecturer with the marketing discipline in the McHugh Institute here in NUI Galway. So I suppose I've really moved through the stages and the programs that have been on offer in the university and with the marketing discipline itself. So I suppose in terms of the BCom, my first experience of marketing was in second year, where I took Principles in Marketing and then an elective e-marketing, and I think it was then that I realised this is my home, this is what I love, and just the areas that you're looking at, there's so many different facets of marketing to study. Like you have the branding, international marketing, services marketing, not-for-profit, and marketing communications, so it's quite broad in the sense as a subject itself. And I think then when I found that home, I took the specialism in third year into marketing, and that's where you really kind of see all the different subject choices that are there, and then where you were only introduced to them in second year, you really get to study them in depth in third year, and that different factors that there are, you really take it. And I think for me, market research has been the foundation to not just my studies here, but also my career and professionally in terms of my own positions and as a postdoctoral fellow. So it's really kind of those subject choices that you study and you're looking at, they really do become part of my academic profile here in NUI Galway. And I think for me, looking at the BCom, then I knew I wanted to progress further with marketing, so that's why I chose the MBS in Marketing here in Galway. And I think for me, it's always been a natural progression just to stay with the marketing discipline and to stay with the marketing subjects. And I think when you're looking at the quality that there is as well, you move from being introduced to topics and kind of seeing the examples and seeing them in action in your degree to the masters, where you then, it's more that application of all the subjects, all the theoreticals, principles and concepts that you're learning, and putting them into action. I think with the lecturers themselves, their enthusiasm and their passion for marketing came across in that they provide examples of real life marketing examples, the working the global case studies that we would have looked at, and bringing their own research into the actual subjects and showing you how these principles and theories are then put into practice and how they're used in industry, and how they're used by practitioners, not just in Ireland but around the world as well. You'd have the global cases. And I suppose you're looking into it and you're kind of saying, you learn a different style of thinking when you get to the MBS in Marketing. So you start that more critical thinking where you start to put it into application. You're starting to use the examples. So we had, I can remember, some other alumni had come in and other people who are working in industry and set projects for us, so it's that you're really applying it to real life cases and examples and those applications. So it's great experience to get as well, and you develop that thinking. But I think for me, coming through the ranks, there's different skills that I've learned along the way. So you have, team working skills, communication skills, writing skills. You really do get that quality and that clarity and depth that you just develop over time as part of doing the BCom and the MBS in Marketing. And I think that really has come to the fore because it's really important in what I'm doing now in terms of my postdoctoral research, and when I go to conferences and networking, that communication skills are really important, and the writing skills as well, and developing different kind of writing skills for different audiences. And I suppose for us, all those principles that I would have learned in second year, the basic principles, have become really an intrinsic part of my work in terms of the projects that I work on. So I work on a lot of European projects, Horizon 2020 funded projects, and one of them that has just finished up is Sea Change. And we have developed a toolkit which would have brought a lot of the marketing principles that we would have learned, like segmentation, targeting, positioning, communications, branding, research, all those fundamental principles, bringing them to a different audience in terms of sea change into environmental groups, and allowing them to do that, to bring those. And we had a very successful campaign in Spain because of those principles. It was called Message in a Bottle. So it reached 10,600 Spanish citizens. They had 110 behavioural change initiatives, and I think it covered a landscape of 8,500 kilometres across Spain. So it's, those principles that we've learned from marketing, bring them in for marketing for behavioural change, led to a really successful campaign in the Sea Change project. So it's something I'm really proud of, and I think being part of the BCom experience and being part of the MBS, I'm proud to have those on my CV, and I'm proud to be part of the alumni network, and I'm proud when I go in my own work as postdoctoral fellow at conferences to speak about NUI Galway and the marketing discipline and the work that we're doing. For me, living in Galway, it was a natural progression to go to NUI Galway. It's where my family had gone to, so for me NUI Galway was the obvious choice. And I think when my master's, then there was, you're moving to that next level and you're thinking, who will I choose between? And you're looking at all the different universities, but I think because of the lecturers, because of their passion, and because the way in which they presented marketing to us and the way they brought other people in from industry to talk to us, to show us about the different levels of jobs that you can go into once you graduate. So we would have been had guest lecturers and guest speakers who would have been maybe marketing assistants or marketing executives, right through to global marketing managers, CEOs, founders of different companies. So I think it's that exposure to all the different areas and the subjects, and just the passion that was there amongst the lecturers themselves for marketing. I think that really came to the fore, and I just thought it was the obvious choice. I'd stay with NUI Galway, and I'm absolutely delighted I did, and it has stood the test of time. It has really developed all the skills that I have now in terms of communication and writing. It's been phenomenal, and I think that quality and that clarity and critical thinking that they develop the skills in each of their students really has stood the test of time, and it has grounded me in the work that I do now in terms of my own academic and professional careers as well.